What Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, don't let a woman describe another woman in front of her husband as if he sees her. Why? When you are describing a woman in front of another woman, the guy have imagination. The guy might think of things as if he sees it. It could lead to other things, imagination and etc. The shaitan tend to influence us many times through our hearing more than our seeing. This is maybe something that many people tend to think is something strange, but this is the reality. The shaitan tend to get into us through our ears more severely and more effectively more than our eyes. People think that the shaitan only can affect us through our eyes. No, sometimes the shaitan can affect us through our ear, even more importantly. And I'm going to give you a few examples. For instance, now the Muslims, every time we hear about Jannah and the beauty of Jannah, when we read the ahadith, the saying of Prophet Muhammad ﷺ about the heaven and how beautiful is heaven and what's in heaven, we start drawing pictures in our head, right? And that shows us that when we hear things, it have a great effectiveness into our feelings and our imaginations and our heart and etc. For instance, when someone hear about going to Mecca, when someone hear about going to Jerusalem, when someone hear about going to Medina, we think of spirituality. We wish we were there. We would think, and we have an imagination that pushes us to think about the beauty of these places. Why all of this happened? Because we heard about them. So when we hear about certain things, it have an effect in our heart. It have an effect in our imagination. It have an effect in our state of mind. And that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, my dear respect brothers and sisters, when He instructed the wives of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, what did Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told the wives of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Said, إن اتقيتن فلا تخضعن بالقول فيطمع الذي في قلبه مرض وقلن قولا معروفا. He told the wives of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and don't make your voice luxurious or beautiful. The people who have sickness in their heart, they would become more demanding and say a good sayings. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala instructed the wives of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, do not soften their voice, do not make their voice likable. Otherwise, people it's going to affect people's hearts. And the same thing, my dear respectful sisters, happens to any human being. When he hear a voice of a woman, it could affect him. And Imam al-Alusi, what he said that the wives of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they used to cover their mouth every time they used to talk to someone that is not related to them, so they could change their voice. They changed their voice so they would not make it sound that their voice is soft or likable, or it could be appealing. You see, my dear respectful sisters, maybe some other sisters don't understand this aspect, but all of the guys, I am sure 100% they understand this. Why? Because the guys have a different sensation than women. It could affect the heart of the guys. It could change them. It could make them imagine things and etc. So my dear respectful sisters, this is a fact. And that's why Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He instructed the best of the women to do this. Why? Because we know that sometimes voice can affect the heart of people, And this is my dear respectful sisters, a detailed morality that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ordered the wives of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam to do, because we know naturally women have a beautiful voice. And naturally, men can be affected by this voice. And this is something the nature of what men have, and the nature of women, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have given them this beauty. And that's why, my dear respectful sisters, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he told us, and he made an order to women not to do certain things. What Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, don't let a woman describe another woman in front of her husband as if he sees her. Why? When you are describing a woman in front of another woman, the guy have imagination. The guy might think of things as if he sees it. It could lead to other things, imagination and etc. How does happen? By someone hearing about another thing. By someone hearing about something else. Don't think, oh Wallahi, I'm immune. Nothing, whatever I hear is not going to affect me. No, you are lying yourself. Brother, you are lying yourself. Sister, hearing can affect your heart. Hearing have an influence in your spirituality. Hearing can affect your imagination and your iman. And this is something يعني, we as Muslims, we have an Islam called Sadd al-Dhara'i, that we prevent before a sin would occur. Just like we do preventative medicine, we take vaccines, we exercise, so sickness would not come to us. The same thing, we have to do the same thing to our iman. We have to do certain things in order to protect our iman. In addition, when you are hearing things that is going to affect your faith,